So you've already upgraded your speakers in your Bronco and you want a little bit more, or you're about to upgrade your speakers in your Bronco and you realize that you can get more. What about the 6.5-inch rear pods? Hey everybody, Mike here from Trail 7. Really exciting day today. We're going to show you how to install your 6.5-inch speakers in your Bronco. We're going to show you the speakers that you can choose. We're going to show you the pods to use. We're going to show you how easy it is to install these pods. Here we have the empty pod showing you what you're going to receive from Trail 7. It's an empty pod ready to go in. This fits a 6.5-inch speaker. Awesome news, this also fits in the Bronco Raptor. So whatever Bronco trim that you have, whether you have a 2-door or a 4-door, we have pods for you, whether it's a Raptor or non-Raptor. So a couple of things that you're gonna need, and what I recommend, if you have a hardtop on your Bronco and you're gonna leave the hardtop on there, it is possible to access the top screws. However, you may need a 90-degree screwdriver and a 90-degree Torx bit with a T30 in the end of it. And I'll show you why. We've taken the top off of this Bronco just for ease of what we have going on here. You can do it with the top on. I just recommend getting something like this that's tight to get your hands in there. You're also going to need a Phillips bit driver to take the old speaker out. And you're also going to, as mentioned, need the T30 Torx bit. Here we have an extension, which I definitely recommend getting a good 6 to 8-inch extension. So that way when you're putting a new pod in, you're able to reach into the slot, which I'll show you how to get that done. This is a very simple upgrade, and we're going to show you how easy it is. Let's get going. All right, we're in the back of the Bronco now. We're going to remove the factory pods. So what I'm going to do first is there's 2 T30 screws on the top of the roll bar. I'm going to remove first. Just to know, we have the hard top off of this Bronco. That's not because you have to take that top off to remove the pod. You can do it with the top on. It's more difficult, of course. You're going to need to get some tools, maybe a 90-degree screwdriver with a Phillips head, 90-degree T30 bit. But you can do it with the top on. We just have it off. So we're going to remove those 2 screws at the top first. We're going to disconnect the connector that's attaching it to the roll bar. And we're going to remove this one bolt that's on the side here. Once you do that, you can just pull the pod right out from the side of the roll bar. So let's go ahead and show you first by starting with the 2 screws up on top. Now let's move to the inside. All right, so here's the connector that needs to be removed. You're going to disconnect it. Up on top here, there's a little button to press. You can press the button in as you pull the connector out, and it pops right out like that. So let's go ahead and get this side bolt out here now. This is the last one. All right, so now that the bolt is out, we're going to go ahead and remove the pod just by pulling it out. And there's these pins that are on the side here. And those come out just like that. And these are the tabs that are in the roll bar that you're just going to pull out. All right, so now that this side pod is out, we're going to do the same exact thing to the other side. We're going to follow the same steps, the top screws, the side screw, the grill cover, and the connector. So let's go ahead and get that side done. Now we're going to take off the connector. I'm going to press the tab here, slide it out. And now we're just going to pull the pod out, just like so. All right, now we have the factory pod removed. That was easy as we showed you. We're going to go ahead and remove the speaker from the pod. What we're after is this clip right here. We're going to use this clip in our new pods. So let's go ahead and remove the speaker now. As you'll see, this speaker has already been upgraded to a 4-inch, and this customer is going from the 4-inch to the 6.5-inch upgrade. So let's remove that with our Phillips screwdriver. Let's go ahead and pull the speaker out. Regardless if your speaker's been upgraded to a different 4-inch or if you have the factory 4-inch, the connection is the same. You're just pulling it out here. There's this tab. You're going to press the tab and disconnect it like this. So now what we're after here is this harness, this whole harness here. We need this grommet, we need this connector, and we need this connector here. So we're going to go ahead and first push this grommet from the inside out, so that way we can pull this portion of the connector out. So just push inside, push and pull as it comes out. Just kind of work your way around it, and it'll pull out just like that. And now this connection on here This is clipped into here with two little prongs. You want to pry that off. Something that you'll probably need also is a small flathead screwdriver to pull this out of here, as well as to remove this connector from the clip. So you can just kind of wedge it underneath here. Pry that up and remove that. Now you want to take this off of here because you don't need that to go onto the new pod. So you can just pop this underneath here and it'll shoot across the room. There you go. You can set that aside. You don't need it. You don't need that anymore. All right, now that we have this out with the grommet and the connector, the little pigtail harness from the factory pod, we can put this into the new pod. We can't install the speaker yet. This needs to be empty for the install because you need to access the inside of the pod. There's two holes here in order to mount the little screws, the hardware. So make sure you do mount it empty, not with the speaker in it, or you have to take the speaker back out in order to mount it. What we can do though is, like I said, we can go ahead and just put this in there. So this is going to kind of hang out because this is what's going to connect to the Bronco, and then your new speaker is going to connect to here. So now that this is as prepped as we can do here, the rest of it will have to be done while it's installed. Let's go ahead and get the new pods installed. All right, the factory pods are removed. We're going to go ahead and put in our 6.5 inch pods. We have the Raptor here. Like I said earlier, that this is compatible with the Raptor. This is for the 4-door, but we do have these same pods for the 2-door. So let's go ahead and get these installed. Let me walk you through what we're going to do first. So there's a slot on the side here. The factory bolt is going to slide into the hole here, and it's going to screw into the side of the roll bar. I definitely recommend your extension for that, and don't attach it to a drill. Is what I'd recommend, is just by hand. And I'll show you when we do it, starting the bolt by hand and getting it in as tight as possible with hand before you put the drill onto it. After that bolt is into the roll bar, we're going to swing the pod up, and we're going to mount the hardware that comes with the pod down from the top of the bracket through the holes in the pod here, and then screw them on with the nut that's included in the bottom. And to show you what I'm talking about here, this is the hardware that comes with it. So there's this long bolt here. There is a flat washer. There's a lock washer, and there's the nut that goes with it. This bolt here is going to go from the top down from the bracket, and from the bottom up, you're going to install another flat washer and then that nut on the bottom to tighten it up. So let's go ahead and get started with the side here. So I put the bolt through the aftermarket pod, so that way it's sticking through like that. And I went ahead by hand and just found where it's on the bolt head. So that way by hand I can just screw it into the roll cage slot. Just get it going by hand, and we can swivel this up and finish the rest of the connections up top before we tighten this in down here. So now we're going to swing the pod up like this. And go ahead and connect these two connectors together, like so. Wedge these two connectors in between the pod and the roll bar, and push the pod up into place to where we can line up the holes from the top and drop those bolts down from the top. Go ahead and drop the bolt down. And yours may slide right in. You may need to screw it in. The holes are covered with this rhino, so you may need to help that hole a little bit when you're screwing the bolt in. Now from the bottom side, you're going to install the flat washer and then the nut to hold it into place. All right, now the bolt is in, the box is in nice and firm, it's solid. We're going to go ahead and put the speaker in. So your speaker comes with a grill on it. Pop the screen out of the bracket, and you're going to use the bracket to mount the speaker, as well as the grill is going to fit in afterwards after the bracket is mounted into the pod. So let's go ahead and connect the speaker first. Go ahead and connect that in. Set this up here. Just know whatever type of speaker that you get, whether it's this speaker or a different speaker that you choose, they're all going to have a bracket. Some of the speakers have a bracket that has the exposed holes, so you don't have to take the grill off. But they're all going to have some sort of bracket or grill. This one happens just to come into pieces. Line this up on the speaker, so the logo is facing in the direction that you'd like it to. There you go. Line the holes up with the holes. And get one screw started. Grab another one. Leave that in. We'll have to set it into place still. Just putting them in there as placeholders for now, just to kind of hold it. Now all of the screws are in. Let's go ahead and put the grill into place. It has these 4 little tabs all the way around. You're going to find a slot in each spot to line up with it. All right, the speaker, the grill is in now. Just make sure the tabs are lined up. There you go. That looks hot. Now that this side's done, we're going to go ahead and move to the other side. The other side is identical to this side. We're going to put the pod in first. We're going to put the lower bolt in, the 2 bolts on the top, the hardware that comes with the pod, and then put the speaker in with the grill. All right, everybody, our 6.5-inch speaker pods are complete. We've installed them into our Bronco Raptor, as you can see here with the crossbar. These are applicable for regular Broncos, Bronco Raptor, and the 2-door Bronco as well. We have different size pods that'll fit into the 2-door. Same concept though, 6.5-inch speakers. So there you have it, a 6.5-inch speaker pod upgrade for your Bronco. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. If you'd like to pick up your speaker upgrade for your Bronco, please visit us at www.trail7.com. Until next time, we'll see you out there.